In the days since the Supreme Court made gay marriage legal around the nation, our correspondent Paul Salman has been looking at the likely financial boost for the wedding industry and the broader economy. He went to Ohio, one of the 4 states at the center of the case that was before the Supreme Court. It's part of our weekly segment, Making Sense, which airs every Thursday on the NewsHour.
From her home base in Columbus, Ohio, Jan Kish helps cater weddings worldwide.
So you're going to slice off?
I'm going to cut off the top of the bottle.
And this is in addition to the cake that you provide?
It's a tradition, right? And then the bride and groom can use this fabulous saber to cut their cake with.
Ah, I got it. Okay. So
Kish doesn't just pop the cork. Kish dispatches it. And she's long been receptive to other innovations in the wedding industry, assisting early on in gay marriages.
Now, this isn't a particular gay wedding thing, is it?
No, it's a celebration thing. But I have a gay friend who's getting married, and he would like to have 5 bare-chested men with 5 sabers opening 5 bottles of champagne all at the same time.
Is it going to happen?
It is. You betcha.
Rated one of the country's top 10 cake bakers, Jan Kish is part of a new group of local wedding specialists called Pride Perfect, founded by a local photographer, to bring together top talent friendly to the LGBT community. And Kish's wedding cakes? The sky's the limit. From Van Gogh's Starry Night to a steampunk concoction gilded with silver and gold leaf.
Which should I try first here?
This is a favorite chocolate cake with a mocha buttercream.
Right, let's try that. This is a particularly enjoyable way to shoot a story.
Yeah.
Another member of Pride Perfect Weddings, the gown shop of Lindsay Fork, similarly offbeat. Suits for lesbian brides, for example, who might or might not want to flaunt their femininity.
This is a very scandalous top that can be worn underneath the jacket or by itself.
Cinderella poofs, crowns of jewels. Fork's inventory runs the gamut from traditional to cutting edge.
How do you handle the situation, 2 brides, but they don't want the same wedding dress?
It's quite funny, actually. A lot of times they don't want to see each other because they want it to be a surprise, as any man and woman would not want to see each other before the ceremony. So we would actually take them into different dressing rooms with different stylists and have them go through the entire process as though they were just there alone.
So the gay marriage court decision is good for the gown monger, good for the baker, good for Ohio, says florist Mary Ernst, as local couples now stay put.
They don't have to go out of state and marry. Like a lot of our customers were going to New York or Massachusetts to get married, so now they can do it here.
But of course, even the sweetest rose has its thorns. Jan Kish has brandished the rainbow flag on her website since she launched it years ago. But a recent hire apparently didn't realize the business was sexual orientation blind until this weekend.
Because of her religious beliefs, she has decided to step back from La Petite Fleur.
She quit
Yes, she's leaving.
because you serve gay customers?
Right, because we support the gay community. She feels that she does not want to be part of that because of her religious background. And that's fine. You know, that's her moral stance, and she has a right to that.
You didn't try to talk her out of it?
I asked her for a 2 weeks notice.
Even in gay-friendly Columbus, Ohio, then, religious prejudice can still trump economic self-interest. But there are economic benefits aplenty in legalizing gay marriage, and not just in Ohio.
We have just a wedding industry that's about to boom. Now you can get married in all 50 states, so there'll be weddings, there'll be honeymoons, there'll be planning.
There will also be plenty of new business for the likes of Janice Cowie, an accountant and lawyer.
We've got accountants who need to do tax returns, maybe amended tax returns, maybe review past tax returns, and we've got lawyers who need to review estate planning documents, you know, what do you do going forward, what do you have in place to now, so there's a lot that's going to change.
And of course, there will be more divorces. But locally, says Columbus's Bill Lafayette, who runs the Ohio regional development firm Regionomics,
by far the biggest impact is going to be on the workforce.
Because of people who will now stay in Ohio as opposed to moving out of state, and especially those most likely to be economic innovators.
Creative people like open and accepting spaces because they want to know that despite the fact that they may think differently from the typical person, they're not going to be laughed at. So gays and lesbians are really the canary in the coal mine.
As it happens, Lafayette is something of a canary himself. He and Ron Templin have been together for 12 years, had a commitment ceremony in church in 2003. But they weren't legally able to be wed in Ohio and considered moving to Massachusetts until last week.
I was at work, and the people had gathered around my desk to wait for the decision. And the minute the decision happened, I, of course, broke down in tears, and some other of my teammates did as well.
Gay members?
No, these were all straight. All of my members on the team are straight, but very supportive, and they're allies. And
So they cried too?
Yes, they cried as well, and they congratulated me, and I instantly IM'd my supervisor and said, "May I leave and get my marriage license?" And she said, "Of course, go." And so I was the first one in my car, and we were at the courthouse by 11 a.m. getting our marriage license.
I didn't cry. I think I was just, I was numb. And this IM came in from Ron. I'm coming home. We're going to get our marriage license. And I was, yes, yes, yes.
Which is what the majority of the Supreme Court said, though rather more sedately, on Friday. This is economics correspondent Paul Salman reporting for the PBS NewsHour from Columbus, Ohio.